Hey everyone, we're going to go over in this video how to do the last step of your food photography levitation. What we're going to do is we're going to get our images onto our F drive so that we can now use Photoshop to compile all of our images together. So to get started, once you have Photoshop launched, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go into your top left corner to where it says File, and you're going to go down to Script and Load Files into Stack. What we're going to do is we're going to select all of the files that we want to combine into one document. So I'm going to click on Browse, and here are my photos, right? I have on my F drive, Project 3 Flying Food folder. And I'm going to click on my first image, right? This is the one without any additional food items added, like with a stick or with a wire. It's just my still life pieces. And now I'm going to choose 10 photos, 10 to 15, that have floating popcorn in them. So I'm going to click on the first one. I'm going to hold my shift key down, and I'm going to click on my last one. And click OK. And now they're all listed here. I'm going to click OK again. And what it's going to do is it's going to compile them all onto one document. It's going to take a little bit, maybe even a minute, 30 seconds to a minute. So just hang tight while they load all of your images together. This is much quicker and easier than if we were to open each individual documents to add them together. All right, so here it is. So this is Photoshop. Over here I have my tools, most importantly, the paintbrush, which is something we're going to use. We have up here our menu, right? This is where we go to File, Save, Save As, Export, and Print. Up here is my tab where my document is, and up here is my control panel, and what it does is allows me to change and customize any tool that I click on. Now you'll notice over here on the right hand side that you'll have a workspace. I'm just going to default mine back to what yours probably looks like. And you'll notice that there's a couple panels. That's what these are called, these little tabs. We want to look at the layer panel. I'm also just going to make it a little taller if I can, but I can scroll through and I can see all of my files. They're all right here. Okay, so to get started, we want to start to turn the eyes off of all of our images. So first thing I noticed here is the stacks went the lowest number on top, and when I scroll down, I'll see my highest number at the bottom. I actually want to have my image, right, that has no stick with popcorn in it on the top. I want to click on this layer with my mouse. I'm clicking and holding, and then I'm dragging this down to the bottom. You'll see it starts to shift, and then on the very bottom I have the file. Now I'm going to turn the eye off on each of these layers because I don't want to see them all. Right, so I'm just clicking off the eyes. You can see what each one looks like. Because layers are essentially like a stack of pictures right now, right? If you're looking through a pile. There we go. And now here's my original image. So the one without any flying food on it. All right, so now to get started, what we're going to do is we're going to grab the layer on top, right? So I'm going to click on the layer above. I'm going to turn the eye back on so I can see the piece of popcorn that I want to include. And the first thing that I am going to do is I am going to go to the bottom of my layer panel, right, where all my little thumbnails are, and I'll see this little icon here. It looks like a camera. It's a box with a circle in it. And when I hover over it, it says layer mask. When I click on this, it adds a white box to my layer, right? So my thumbnail of my picture, and I'm going to click on the thumbnail that's just the white mask. Now, my last mask is selected. I'm going to come to my toolbox and I'm going to grab the paintbrush. Make sure it's the paintbrush that doesn't have any special arrows or anything next to it. You want just the paintbrush. I'm going to come down to the bottom of my layer panel, and here are where my colors are. They should be black and white. So black on the top box and white on the back box. I can, if they're not black and white, I can click on these little icons and it defaults to the black and white. And I can use this arrow to switch between black being on top versus white being on top. To get started, we want black to be on the top because what we're going to do is we're going to take our brush and paint over it with black. So now with my cursor over my picture, I'm going to right click and this gives me the brush options. I want to choose the soft brush under general brushes, a soft brush, and I want the size of my brush to be a little bit larger than the piece that I'm going to be painting over. And I want the hardness of the brush to be around 70. I don't want like a really sharp edge, but neither do I want one that's like super soft. So I'm going to kind of just go up in that 70 range. Okay, I'm going to hit the enter key to make the options box go away. And now I'm ready. So I'm going to actually go a little smaller on my mouse. So the enter key on your keyboard, right above them, you've got brackets. If I click on my brackets, it makes the brush bigger or smaller. So now I'm going to paint over the popcorn. And now it's disappeared, right? We want to, in the end, keep the popcorn and not the background. So if I look down here, back under my layers, and I look at my layer mask, you'll see it's white with a black dot. I want to actually invert that. So I'm going to hit on my keyboard. I'm going to hold the key Control and push the letter I. That inverted my mask. So now the popcorn was white and the background is black. And that's it. I'm going to turn the layer on above and I'm going to repeat this process. So I'm going to click on the layer. So it's a light gray, so it's selected. The eye is on so I can see it. I'm going to add a layer mask. Right? Make sure that white box has the bounting box around it. I've got my brush in black, and now I'm going to paint over the popcorn. If I go too far and I don't like what I've done, I can do two things. One, I can hit Control Z, which is undo, or I can grab white and I can switch to the white color and I can paint back. So either way, I'm going to paint over my popcorn. My layer mask is selected, so I'm going to hit the Control I key and invert it. And you're going to continue to do this for each one of your popcorn kernels or whatever item you chose for your flying food. And that's your process. Select the layer, add a layer mask, use the paintbrush with black, paint over your popcorn, and invert it. And you'll go through all of your layers doing this. When you're done, right, and you've done this to all of your layers, you're going to come up to File, and this is where you're going to save as. So you're going to make sure you're in your F drive, Photo 1, Project 3 folder, and you're going to name it your name, your grade, and P3 Flying Food. Leave it as the Photoshop file because this is where it's leaving in the file all of your layers and all your work. It's called a working file. I'm going to press save. And I'm just going to press OK for maximum compatibility. And then I'm going to save it one more time, again, when you're done. And I'm going to go to File, Export, Export As. And this is going to give me my exporting settings. So JPEG, right? It defaults to PNG, so I want to make sure it's a JPEG. I'm going to make sure the quality is all the way up to 7, as high as it can go. And then when I hit export, again, it's going to come up with the same name, your first and last name, grade, project 3, and this time it's saving as a JPEG. Hit save, and then you are going to attach both of these files into the Google Classroom assignment, Food Photography Levitation. And that's it. Good luck, everyone.